Hello everyone! So as you probably know, Verity episode 3 is releasing very soon, in just about a day. In today's video, I want to do something interesting. So I want to compile a bunch of my different theories that I haven't made into shorts about what might happen in the third episode. So without further ado, let's do that. And I think this video will be interesting because you can even watch this after it releases and you can go back through this video and see what I got right with what I didn't, because I'm very curious if I'll get anything right. So the first thing I want to start with is I want to mention something. Here we go. If we go into the description of this video, we can pretty clearly see a couple things. First of all, Grox is going to be in the video, obviously. We can also assume that it's going to have stuff relating to Lookout 3D. Possibly, this is one of my theories. Lookout 3D's series is going to be partially canon, or at least somewhat canon, you know what I mean? So that's going to be interesting simply because it's mentioned here. Also, Twixel on the board. So this board, I mentioned it in my previous short from today. I think this board represents the victims of Verity, and then Verity's coming through and is about to get Mob. Obviously, I think Mob might be slightly cooked in this video, although I doubt Mob is actually going to die. I think Mob is going to actually figure out a way to protect himself from Verity or get rid of Verity in some way, and maybe that won't be fully executed upon in this video, but in the next video. And something else I wanted to touch on is if we go to the end of this video, we can see these books, right? This is talking about how Verity is. Another prediction I have is, or another theory I have, is that we are going to learn a lot more about what Verity actually is, how they got there, their backstory, and I think that'll be really cool. I think if I pull up one of my own videos, I think I did this in a suggestion, and I'm really hoping it's inspired. I can't remember which video it's in. I don't really know. And let's see where we could also learn about the other people Verity. So yeah, this is something I already predicted, and I'm hoping that it does become true. Obviously the other people, but we also learn more about the history of Verity and where they come from. It's going to be very interesting. Aside from that, I'm not sure. I don't recognize these usernames. I don't know how much they matter. Oh, wait, I know it. So I'm actually literally, as of recording this, I just realized this. All of these people have X's next to their name. Twixel, dead. Like Twixel, for example, X next to their name. Twixel died. Grox does not have this X. So my theory, my guess is that Grox is going to not appear as some sort of flashback with Verity, but rather, I think Grox is going to be a thing of Grox is going to appear in the video itself. And let's actually, so another thing I want to touch on, I think I mentioned this earlier, is obviously the laboratory they mentioned in this description. They actually have brought this up before in this specific community post. Let's pull this up. So I'm not sure what this is. This might be, it's really hard to tell because this is really low quality. It's not just my recording. I'm wondering if the laboratory is going to be a thing of the people who created Verity, not that mob creating the laboratory, simply because of something like this. How much is the, because in this, for example, they talk about, this is really hard to read, but it says, how much is the data worth anyway? And it says, I'd say billionaires. And then it's just, I think these different colors correlate to different people writing. What does this say? That's what they told you. Oh, geez. So obviously there's not a lot of data. Obviously it's really hard to read, first of all, and also I don't think it's possible to really interpret this fully. But there was definitely a lot of stuff that can be interpreted from this. Obviously this. But I think the main thing that I'm trying to say is the laboratory was used by the people who created Verity, not necessarily by Mob, and I think Mob is discovering the laboratory, or a recreation of the laboratory. So those are my biggest predictions right now. Obviously, not all of those are going to be true. I don't really think there's enough to go off of to really create more relatively logical ones, though. So I'd really appreciate a subscription. I'm actually have my own series that has been pretty inspired by Verity, and I really appreciate that Mob for making Verity because it is so cool. I'd really appreciate if you guys check that out. It should be in the end card, and bye and subscribe.